Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
Sort of thing again tonight, I think the shot clock told a different story to what the final score did in the end.
Yeah, well, seems like we do a lot of talking about these things. Look, I think it's easy to make excuses and it's easy to feel sorry for yourself in these situations. Tonight was nothing special, okay, and it's important to clarify that. That is just the bare minimum standard that it takes to compete in this league. And I think it's a pretty fair assessment to say that on many nights we haven't even been close to that standard. We did play all right tonight, but all right is when you find yourself down in the table where we are. And yeah, it is a lot tougher than to lay it out there on the line and lose than it to go into a game and maybe not give it your all. And we've seen that too many times this year. But that kind of performance should be one that we don't get out of 95% of the guys on a every once in a while.
Yeah, I think probably one thing to point out tonight, I think we had 4 power play chances in that third period. I think last week you talked about a kind of confidence issue again with and creativity with the power play. Was that another issue again tonight, do you think?
Well, okay, so both teams didn't have a power play or didn't have a power play goal. Both teams' kills were exceptional tonight. But you're right. Anytime that you have a 6-on-4 situation and you're having difficulties get to the net and certainly, I'm not even going to hide behind an excuse. I think that if you look at the way we were skating tonight for big portions of that game, and the way the effort level was to get to the net, 5-on-5, you would expect that on the power play. As soon as you stand around the outside, it's very easy to kill again. You have to knife through their box and position yourself in a situation where you're outnumbering them in situations, not creating one-on-one battles all over the ice. And I watch it in practice every week, and we look comfortable and we look dangerous. And then instead of moving the puck and let the puck do the work, we just kind of slowly move around the outside, and that's frustrating. But when you're struggling as a group, and an important thing to remember as well is that we've never really struggled for offense in the past. And, for various reasons this year, we are. We have proven goal scorers in the team that are finding themselves in goal-scoring situations. But when you're not used to being there and you're not used to fighting to get there, you can't switch it on automatically. And I think that's something that a lot of people are very guilty of this year.
I think maybe one question from tonight is probably where the next points are going to come from. Is that a question you're asking yourself now?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you where the points would have come from if we played like that every time we stepped on the ice, because remember I said at the start of the interview, that is the bare minimum standard that it should be expected to be a Fife Flyer. And if we were kept to the outside and we didn't look dominant at times, granted, Manchester had a pushback and they had a good pushback, but we dominated portions of that game, but not scoring. That's as unacceptable. Sometimes I stand here and I make excuses for a guy and say, "Oh, you don't understand what it's like to be a forward." But I think that it's easy. It's pretty easy to figure out that if we were kept to the outside and there was a question systematically, you would really start questioning that. To me, it is a huge work ethic problem, and we're not getting it consistently enough.
Again, we move on to Saturday. We go away down to Manchester again. It'll be another crucial game in terms of trying to get back into those playoff spots.
Yeah, well, I'll give you an example. It's not going to be any easier than it was in Coventry last night. Last night we went down to Coventry. Fantastic start to the game. And then in the second period, we just decided to take the period off. And that's where we lost the hockey game. And then you try and turn it on in the third period and you have some zone time. but not everybody's fully committed, and guys are turning pucks over. You end up losing a hockey game. That is 100% the reason. I'm telling you right now. And tonight, as you've seen, very strong performances out of some guys, but you can see in a game where we're soft on a puck and turning pucks over where we don't need to. The standard has gone way up, and some guys have maybe buried their heads in the sand to that, because they've certainly been told. And the thing that I think pisses me off the most is that we can go out there and we can do it, but not anywhere near consistently, and sometimes the wrong people are taking the heat.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.